He's an outstanding human being, outstanding kid. He's a selfless person. He's about the team. He just wants team success over his individual success. And I think everybody is selfish at some point. They want to catch the ball, and more so they just want to make sure they make the plays that are there so that the team can win.
Let's bring in the head coach right now of the Michigan Wolverines, Sherrone Moore, joining Waddle and Sylvie on our guest hotline, the Yuengling guest hotline. Coach Moore, how you feeling today?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. You started off coaching. Obviously, you played the offensive line. You then specialized in coaching tight ends, and then onward and upward to offensive coordinator, then head coach. So if anyone can break down a tight end, and the newest Bear in Colston Loveland, what makes him special, especially from your viewpoint of coaching tight ends?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the rarest combination of size, speed, and then being able to separate at the top of a route. The biggest, the best I've seen or been around. I had one of our former tight ends, Tyler Conklin, who just signed with the Chargers. He came and visited us. We played Michigan State in 2023. He said, "Who's 18?" I said, "That's Colston Loveland. He's going to be a first-round draft pick." He's like, "Yeah, I can tell." And he has the ability to separate. He knows how to get open. He knows how to find voids in zone. But he's also a willing blocker. There's a knock that he can't, that he doesn't, not a great point of attack person or block. But he's going to do everything he can for the team and throw his face in there and be physical. And he's about it. He's about that life, as we like to say, when it's time to get down and dirty. But at the end of the day, his elite skill set is being able to separate and catch the ball in space.
Hey, Coach, he's just a baby, right? He just turned 21, so, he's going to get bigger, he's going to get faster, he's going to get stronger. His best days are ahead of him, I would assume.
Yeah, ceiling's high, man. He really didn't play tight end until he got here, and the position, he's learning it, and he's a student in the game, and he's a tremendous worker, so all he's going to do is work to get better and better.
Coach, does he have the capacity to put on a little weight? Can he line up next to a tight end if they ask him to do that and be an inline 100%. Blocker?
Yeah, you got no choice when you come to Michigan. You're going to put your hand on the ground and block people. So he's had to do that many a time. So he'll be ready and willing to do it at the next level.
Something, and we're talking to Sherrone Moore, Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000. Something that Ryan Poles touched on yesterday that I heard in his interview yesterday with our play-by-play crew is that he's all about winning first, not about the stats. Obviously he probably would have liked to have bigger stats this year as he had a little bit of a roller coaster ride on offense, Coach. But tell us about the person and what kind of a football mind he has.
He's an outstanding human being, outstanding kid. He's a selfless person. He's about the team. He just wants team success over his individual success. And I think everybody is selfish at some point. They want to catch the ball, and more so they just want to make sure they make the plays that are there so that the team can win. And that's Colston's attitude. And never once did you have to worry about him saying, "Oh, I'm not getting the ball." A prime example, in 2023, I ran the ball 32 times, and him and A.J. Barner, the tight ends, 32 times in a row. And they came over to me and said, "Coach, we just want to do whatever we got to do to win. Whatever we got to do, let's do it." And that's the type of person that the Bears are getting.
Yeah, Coach, did you have a feeling that the Bears were interested in him? Were some of the front office guys hanging around Ann Arbor or burning up your cell phone?
I had an idea. I had great talks with Coach Johnson and Ryan here when they came for a pro day, and they also came for separate workouts and meetings. So I had a good idea that they really liked him, and I had a really good idea that Coach Johnson liked him. So kind of similar, trying to use him like they did Laporta, and it's just cool. Laporta came up here and worked out with Colston at some point last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, and I was like, man, I see why this guy's a elite, Pro Bowl tight end with Sam, and Colston didn't look far off, so it's going to be cool to watch his development.
Have you had a chance to build a relationship with Ben Johnson with the proximity to the Lions?
A little bit. We did talk about how every week we'd steal each other's plays and run them the next week, and it's crazy. All the plays I took from the Lions, they all worked. So I hope all the plays you took from us worked. but not as much as I'd like to. You know, when you're in the football season, it's hard, and for us, their off season is our recruiting season, so it never really stops. But definitely going to try to build more relationship with them as time develops.
I know he and JJ are best of friends. Is it easily explainable that his stats may have gone down because the quarterback play obviously took a bit of a hit with JJ moving on to the Vikings last year?
Yeah, I think when you ever lose a first-round quarterback, it's a little different, right? So for us, it's, you know, I think he did everything in his power to be successful and help the team as much as he could. And Colston never whined or batted an eye, just did everything he can to help the team.
Michigan, Ohio State, or Bears, Packers?
Michigan, Ohio State. Love the Bears-Packers rivalry, but I can't really have a question about that one.
Yeah. And I don't know if this matters at all. You tell me. Waddle played in the Bears-Packers rivalry. But to someone who's been through it like Colston has, he's been through a lot, and he's been on a championship team, learning how to build a championship team, going through these nasty rivalries that you guys have with Ohio State right now and with Michigan being on top while he was there. Does this help him going forward in the NFL?
Yeah, I think it just he understands what it takes to win and the work it takes to win, because it's not automatic. You've got to work to get where you want to be, and you got to be aligned as a team and as an organization. And he's going to be a great part of, you know, how the organization builds and what they do from now to the future. Like Coach Johnson said yesterday, he's his first pick as a head coach, so he's going to be a prime piece for them as they go on in the future.
Talking to Sherrone Moore, it's Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000. When you were with Jim Harbaugh, did he ever talk about the glory days when he was the quarterback of the Bears?
I got a few stories, but I don't know if I can tell those on air.
I got a few stories, too. He was my quarterback for 4 years. We're going to have to get together and cross-reference some of these stories.
Yeah, no doubt. That's my guy, man.
Did he ever – so Waddle was his wide receiver, Tom Waddle. Did he ever bring up Tom Waddle in the stories of yesteryear?
I hope not.
No, he didn't really like to talk about himself. So the stories that he brought up about playing with the Bears was outside of the facility.
Yeah.
So we didn't really talk about his playing days of the Bears.
Yeah, I'm sure about that as well. I'm sure he and you guys take great pride in having a first day of the draft like you did last night, where 3 of your players went in the first round. That is something that I assume you feel very strongly about and you're very happy about.
Yeah, blessed, but really happy for those players, happy for those players' families, and just motivation for our kids here to be great.
How difficult is it these days with the changes in how college football is really trending? As a head coach of a major program, one like Michigan, how difficult is your job compared to maybe a couple of years ago?
It's just different, but you got to adapt. We always say adapt or die. So it's different, but you're still blessed to be in a position to be the head coach of Michigan or any other great university or organization. So you take it, you adjust, and you try to find ways to be better, and that's all we can do.
What was one thing you learned, Coach, this past year that when you filled in and you did an admirable job that you didn't know until it was your program?
Yeah, that as a head coach, you do a lot less football than you think.
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
And listen, I think we have a fantastic young head coach in Ben Johnson who's probably going to learn that same lesson. If Ben asked you, hey, Coach, what's the biggest adjustment from being the man in charge of the offense to being the man in charge of the program, what would you tell him?
Don't try to solve all the world's problems in one day, because you can't.
Right.
Coach,
that's good advice.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us and hopping on at short notice.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.